Hello and welcome. No video on this video, so you get a nice picture of me whilst I'm introducing. So today we are talking about installing the software that you're going to need. So first of all, there are two things to install. There's a SQL Server Express and then there's SQL Server Management Studio. So let's talk about the requirements for your system. So you need a 2 gig or higher processor. Suggest 1 gig or more RAM, but to be honest, I'd say 4. I had 4 on my previous machine and that was fine. And at least 3.2 gigabytes of hard disk space. That's the one that's not really negotiable, because that is how the actual files are stored. If your machine isn't up to scratch, there is another option, and that is to use Amazon Web Services or something like that, where you can basically set up a virtual machine in the cloud. If you want to do that, get in touch. I can talk you through that because it's a bit of a long-winded process. That's what I'm using in the demo installation today. And you pay by the hour, and it's something like 8 or 10 pence an hour for a small machine, which is big enough for what you need. So what you do is you switch it on, you connect to it by the remote desktop, use it however you want to use it, and then when you finish you switch it off, and at the end of the month you get billed, and it might just be a pound or two. It's a really good option if you haven't got the computer capacity to do that. So assuming that you do have, or that you've got that sorted, let's crack on with the install. So on your machine, and this is my AWS machine, open a web browser. I'm on an Internet Explorer, don't judge me. So open a browser, get to Google and type in Microsoft SQL Server Download. And click that. And that will take you, that first option is what we want. It takes you to the Microsoft.com page. So there we have options. We don't want any of those top ones. What we want is one of our free ones. And the Express edition is a lightweight version and it doesn't cost you anything. So we'll click on that to download. Should only take a few seconds. There you go. So click to open the folder, and there's a few files I was using yesterday, so let's get rid of those. So just double click on the icon to open it, and that takes us into the download page. So we're going to click on Basic and then accept the license terms. I'm just going to stick with the default file location and then click on install. So that's going to install SQL Server Express 2019, so it just gives you the latest version. So this might take a few minutes, normally 4 or 5 minutes, so I'll pause it here and see you in a few minutes. Okay, so that was fairly quick to do. The first thing I'd do now is I'd take a copy of this instance name SQL Express connection string and put it in Notepad. So find Notepad and just paste it in. You probably won't need it, but you might. So just have it there in case. Okay, so what we've done now, we've installed the SQL Server. Okay, so now we need a piece of software to connect to that server to do all our actual work, and that thing is called SQL Server Management Studio, or SSMS for short, and that is what we will use every time you're using the databases. So to get to that, click on Install SSMS, and that takes you back into the Microsoft website, and go down to where it says Download SSMS, and click on that link. And again, it gives you the latest version, and it's free and it's fairly lightweight. So that should open a new file. I'll just give it a minute whilst it scans it. Now what I should have done here is tested the SQL Server instance. So click on where it says connect now. Back on the other page there. Yeah, back on the server install. Click on connect now, and that just runs a command window, and that just connects to the server and makes sure everything's working. So I've never known that not to work. But if you do have any issues, jump on the group call and we'll get that sorted for you. So that just establishes that it's all working. So you can close that down. You don't need that anymore. Get rid of these other windows, and we can click on install. I'd stick with the default file location again. Now we're going to install SSMS, so just click on the install button and off we go. So that might take a few minutes, so again I'll pause the video and speak to you soon. Okay, so that only took a few minutes. That was good. So now it has completed the installation and setup. So let's have a look at it. So we'll close that down, minimize that, go to your start menu and scroll down to M. Under Microsoft SQL Server Tools, what you're looking for is Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. That's the one second to bottom. So click on that. And that normally takes a few moments just to open up. And here we go. So that is your window. So in your Connect pane, that server name is what we'd have saved into our notepad. So we don't need it because it's auto-populated, but sometimes it doesn't and can make it difficult. So that first part is your machine name, and the second part is the instance name. That's the SQL Express bit. So that all looks good to me. So let's click on connect. So now we're connected to our server, and in there you've got your databases. Haven't got any yet, but we will do. So that's it. You've done it. So in our next lesson we will build a database and we'll start doing some querying. So don't know about you, but I can't wait to get stuck in. So I'll see you in the next video.